Oh, I was gonna
All
check and see
right.
how I look.
Welcome back, Rage Nation. We got another paint party. So it's going to be our third installment of this, and basically just get a person on, and we end up painting a bunch of stuff. So in the main window, you will see the stuff that I am going to be painting, and then the tiny man in the window there. Eric, give the good people a wave. There you
Tiny
go.
man in the window. There we go.
And yeah, so we're gonna do some paint partings, and basically, if you didn't see this the other two times, we basically just talk and BS while we paint, and
Yeah.
we just kind of talk about some of the things that we do, some of the things that. Make sure I mute that, and just some of the techniques we use, some of the things that we find interesting about different games. And today, I'm going to be painting some Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. I got the Winter Soldier.
Boo.
I got all the Wakanda. And then if I get that to a spot where I need to switch, I also have this big troll guy who's going to bump everybody out of the way for Godtear. So Half Tusk might get some paint on him tonight. So Eric, what are you going to be working on tonight?
Well, I recently decided to start messing around with a buddy's Crisis Protocol stuff as well. So thought that the Marvel miniatures look kind of neat, and so I'm going to be messing around with a Iron Man. Hopefully, you guys can see that in Tiny Man in the window. But I have a better camera this time. I'm not using a tablet, so I'll be able to actually like show you things. Ooh. Anyways, so I got like kind of base coats on him, but in between like different sections of doing him, I'm going to be messing around with some more Imperial Assault models, like a Nexu. That's one of those like big ass like cat things that just eat people. So, oh, and some tiny little lost cats.
Nice.
So, yep.
Well,
So,
cool. I just realized that I had to adjust things and make sure that people could actually see what we were doing.
oh, nice, neat. Neat.
Yeah, so we actually got that now. So
Okay, cool. Well, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I'm doing it.
Yay, your people. So,
And I'll let you know, Eric, if we get anybody in the chat. I shared this with a bunch of people, and we'll see if anybody shows up for the party. But
ooh.
apparently, we did get one of my buddies, Russ, to show up for the party.
Nice, nice. So I'm eager and excited about that. I don't like just
It's
talking to
nice. It's
myself.
nice having people to talk to while you're painting.
It is. It is. I mean, as long as they're not talking trash.
well,
Your paint jobs suck. Well, I'm trying.
well, I mean, Russell
Oh,
talk trash, but it's just because I paint faster than him.
oh, that's also fair. I mean, you do paint extraordinarily fast. I am envious of that. So.
Well, that's like there was a guy that watches a lot of stuff that we put out for the podcast, and
Mhm.
it was just kind of funny because he was like, "Dude, you're cranking through this stuff. You might run out of stuff to paint." It's like you have no idea how much stuff I have to paint.
Mhm. Agreed. Agreed. You always have a full table of paint stuff to do. So that's one of those impressive things about you, but also disheartening if you're trying to compete.
It's like, what are you painting now?
Yeah, yeah, that is the thing. Like batch painting those zombies was like the most speed painting I've ever done, and you probably could have did it in about half the time that I did them. So,
Yeah, I
which is
painting
sick.
some. Was painting some Song of Ice and Fire stuff today, which I love painting, but I am totally out of practice with painting units because after I got about halfway through a unit, I was like, shit, am I done yet?
Yeah, no, the speed painting of units just kind of sucks. Because like making sure that you hit every last one of those colors on there, like if you're doing all the gunmetal, making sure you hit every single gunmetal on all those guys, like just kind of sucks because you got to kind of overlook. And I found that units of like 7 to 8 are the best for me, anyways, as far as like trying to uh, get things down. So
Yeah,
uh, I don't know. I like painting individuals far and away better than I like painting units.
I agree with
Give
that.
me a hero or a unit that I have to make every single one of them like slightly different. And when I mean slightly different, I mean like it's the Mob of Heroes type thing for like Warriors of Chaos or the
Yeah.
Bretonians. Um, I would much rather do something like that than everybody lottie dottie like the IG treatment of like, because that would just make me go crazy. Like one of these days, I have to paint up a bunch of orcs for 40K, and I am not looking forward to that. So
Why you got to paint a bunch of orcs?
there's a buddy of mine that wants me to paint them up for him.
Oh,
So,
yikes.
yeah, it's just a matter of like finding the motivation and or time to do it.
I'm gonna
And
say I never
when
recalled you having orcs, so I was a little.
I mean, I had them for Warhammer Fantasy, but not for 40K.
Yeah.
That's just one of those like cancers that I would once again never want to paint. So
Now,
that is
the key here is while I'm interrupting you is I have a cup of coffee in front of me,
oh yeah.
and the question is how long am I going to paint tonight before I put my brush in that coffee?
Oh gosh, golly, mister. Just make sure your cup of coffee's on your left side and your paint pot's on the right.
I like to live dangerously. They're both on my right.
Oh well, much like the Joker said, you get what you deserve. Then. You get what you deserve.
I need.
With more expletives, I'm not supposed to use the expletives on this, right?
Well, you can because this is on our Rage Quit channel. So.
Oh, neat. I'm not going to.
I would say, Russ, you got to paint your Night's Watch stuff, Russ. Yeah, have you seen a lot of those minis for Song of Ice and Fire, Eric?
I have seen a decent amount of them, and they look like pretty standard, like historical miniature status. I mean, like a little bit better. Like if you mix like Kings of War with like historical minis.
Yeah.
And like so, it's cool. I'm not sure if I'll ever play the game, but it'd be neat to watch. Like I might watch a battle report or two or something like that.
I would say I think Russ and I are actually going to try to do one off of Tabletop Simulator.
Ooh, neat.
Yeah.
I really thoroughly enjoy Tabletop Simulator. So.
I tell people the story a lot of times about because people just talk about the books in the show and stuff, and I always tell them you were reading that book before I even knew what that show was.
Yeah.
And you were like, I hate this. And you want to know why I hate it? Because this is one of the only books that I actually physically threw the book across the room and stopped reading it.
100%. Right after the Red Wedding, and they mounted. I mean, spoilers. By this point in time, if you haven't watched it, oh well.
Sorry. Sorry,
yeah,
not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. But when they mounted
Rob's.
God, yeah, Rob's head on the gate alongside his like, and like did the whole switcheroo with his direwolf's body and everything like that. I'm like, that's not cool. So I'm done. I am done with this series.
So are you a Stark homer then? Do you like the Starks a lot?
I mean, like I generally adhere to the side of right as opposed to the side of incest and wrong, as far as like the way that things should go. And when it comes to my fantasy, as far as how I like to read my fantasies, the good guys eventually win through a lot of adversity, which, I mean, I guess you can say they kind of won, but nobody really won at the end of that. But it's not my flavor. It's not my cup of tea.
Russ said that you rage quit the book.
I mean, sure. Yeah, rage quit the book. I mean, I it's on the shelf. Haven't finished it after that. I read the synopses of like the next books just to keep abreast of the story and series and everything like that. But for the most part, nah, just done. Because like the problem is that it's sloppy writing on Martin's part because he backs his ass into a corner, and then the only way that he knows how to get out of it is to kill somebody. And then when he kills them, he doesn't kill them like in a manner befitting.
Meaningful way.
Yeah, in a meaningful way. It's just like, nope, hobo shank, you're dead. Or like, no, we're gonna do this in the most brutal way possible. That way, like it sucks. So, like I said, it's a sloppy writing style.
Yeah, I definitely, and I think it actually, in a lot of aspects, was kind of refreshing, just because you do watch and read a lot of different stories, and it's always like, oh, and the hero wins, and the bad guy, got taken care of, and
Mhm.
In his books, it's just like that doesn't happen.
No, no, I get it. I get it. I understand that aspect of it. Um, but I've read historical fiction where it's like Byzantine-esque, and like it still is more satisfying than reading Martin stuff. So
Yeah.
Martin stuff is just frustrating because, like I said, he writes himself into a corner, and the only way he knows how to like get himself out is just to kill somebody.
I always thought
Um,
it was funny when people would watch the show and they'd introduce a new character, then they'd
hmm
be like, and hey, look at this cool new fun character. Oh, they're dead.
Yup, yup, nope, and that's yeah, like I said, just a sloppy writing style. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Uh, like I'll take reading Tolkien like 3 pages on what a mountain looks like before I'll read a Martin book again. So
Oh, so are you not excited for the possibility of new books coming out?
oh no, no, not in any way, shape, or form. I don't care. So it's an interesting universe, and if it was written by an author that actually I enjoyed reading, then sure. Uh,
Hmm.
like maybe if Martin kicked the bucket and they decided to say, "Hey, Brian Sanderson, take over," like he did for Robert Jordan, then yeah, sure, maybe.
Hmm.
But
That's an interesting
I think,
spin.
well, because like I think my thinking on it is not just because of the story of the plot line. I get the bad guys die, bad guys win on occasion, and I get that uh, good guys are going to die. But like I said, it's just a sloppy writing style
Okay.
that bothers the crap out of me.
Hmm.
I mean, David Drake has uh, similar veins of like bad guys winning, and his writing style has entranced me. Um, let's see, Zelazny was the same way, and the bad guys won on numerous occasions. If you've ever read The Nine Princes of Amber, that's pretty freaking brutal, but it's still far and away more engaging and entertaining.
Yeah, Russ, that
So,
is on your end. I got the stream opened up on the Facebook and it's going pretty smooth. So it is on your end, my friend.
oh, is it Little Man in the Window again? Fuck up.
No, no, it's Russ was asking like if the stream was messing up, and I was like, nope, it's on your end, bud.
Oh, yeah. I have it up on YouTube, and it's not like everything seems to be going smoothly. I don't know what your delay is.
Well,
That might be a thing too.
well, it is the delay is there, but that's just
Mm,
natural streaming.
yeah.
He's talking more. It just sometimes Russ has hamster internet.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Gotta
So
get them wheels going.
yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always a big proponent of if your internet slows down, maybe you shut down a few of the apps.
Yeah, sometimes depending on your internet and your computer and
Mhm.
your modem and router, sometimes it's like, yep, I just need to close stuff down.
Yep. Can't agree more. So, boy, howdy. Let's see about those dry.
I say, what did
Next
you
to
when you held up Iron Man, you had like something sticking up Iron Man's ass.
oh, okay. So the guy who built these, I did not build these, but the guy I'm painting them for, um, like screwed up the legs
Yeah.
so bad that like it looked like Michael Jackson moonwalking.
Okay.
Uh, so I ended up fixing the legs, but at the same time, I one of the possible fixes that I had for him was saying, hey, um, maybe I can have him set up so he's flying. So this is just kind of like a flight stand
Yeah.
on him, and it does look a little goofy, but I think
Better than the
once he's
alternative.
yeah, better than an alternative. Okay, so when I say screwed up really bad was that he put the left leg on the right leg and the right leg on the left leg, and then tried to make it work.
Okay.
And have you put together this miniature?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so like at the knees is where he screwed up. So, and like I had to go through and like cut and then like kind of bring everything back in because I'm like, so just food for thought, buddy. You can look at the heels and tell you which leg they're supposed to go on.
Yeah, right.
Feet are shaped a certain way, and they will go that way. I mean, it's not like he's wearing slippers. So, but no. So when I primed them, I primed them with one of those fancy flight stands that you get for X-wing.
Yeah.
And so on, it's a two-tiered one. Because I think on the single tier, where's that? Yeah, it's around here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the single one is only about this tall.
Oh yeah.
So,
I remember them.
so I double stacked it, and then I put painter's tape around the bottom one, and then I have a fresh one that's just going to go over the top, like on top of it. And so in theory, the one that I painter's taped is still like clear. So it's going to be two clear stands going, because
Cool.
I kind of drilled it out and put it in there. So after it gets all finished painting and everything like that, I'll take off all the tape.
Nice.
Yeah. And it doesn't take too much to drill out a miniature like this. It just kind of looks like he's got a butt plug. So big one.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, what the heck is going on?
Just go with it. It's 2020. He can do whatever he wants.
He can be that man in the mirror if he wants.
I mean, he can do something. I don't know, man. I mean, I ain't one to judge. Except I'm judging right now. 'Cause I'm the one doing it.
All right. How do I do this? Mm-hmm.
Just shaking up paint.
Got to shake it up,
Shake,
man.
shake, shake, shake it all the time.
Yeah, just trying to figure out some of these minis.
Oh,
Yeah,
what are you trying to figure out?
I'm just looking at paints and just figuring out what colors I'm going to put on what part of these models.
Okay, that figuring out.
Yeah.
The planning. The planning stage.
Somebody was asking me about painting, and they were like, well, what color should I do for this, and this? And I was like, listen, here's the secret. I don't plan that far out when I start painting stuff.
Nice.
Because when I painted with Dennis
Mm-hmm.
last Thursday, so last week, basically I was working on this Godtear champion who looks like a lizard man, right?
Yeah. So green.
Yep.
That's
So,
what I was
well,
going.
you remember lizard men. What I try to do is I try to do a light blue,
Oh yeah.
and then I try
yeah.
to do a dark blue for the scales.
Mhm.
It looked
Oh,
dumb.
okay.
It looked dumb. It did not.
Oh, it didn't look cool like mine.
I think he was just too big for
Oh.
that. It just didn't blend the way it should have. So basically, I changed those blue scales to green, and it looked a ton better.
I gotcha.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't plan that. I just kind of go, and if it looks good, good. If not, then switch it up.
That's fair.
Oh, man, I need a haircut. This is driving me nuts.
Well, just get your wife to give you one.
Well,
One
so
quarantine haircut.
no, fuck that. So, I got the new Corsair headset.
Yeah.
It feels awful with my hair this way.
Oh yeah. No, I feel you. Like it doesn't feel awful while I have it on. It feels awful as soon as I get it off. Because then it feels like I have like that nice like matted spot in the center of my head.
Mine's kind of the hair around my ears makes it where like it'll slip sometimes.
Oh, you got that hippie cut now, don't you?
I do, except for it's more like a helmet.
Yeah. Like luckily, my hair is still like somewhat good because I got one of them haircuts right before quarantine and everything like that, and I'm generally good for about six or 7 weeks before I feel like a dirty hippie.
I mean, I got one before quarantine as well. However,
Yeah.
my hair grows back really fast.
Oh yeah, that's because you. Yeah.
All right.
Face paint.
Russ said I should be cool like him and Clay and just go bald.
Oh, I mean, like that's a solution.
If we're going for extremes.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I hear tell extremes are the way to do it nowadays.
yeah, right.
No half measures.
Where the hell is my snake bite leather? There it is. Have you been switching to some of them contrast paints?
I am actually planning on messing around with them here in the next while I'm doing some of these Crisis Protocol ones. But the only one that I have is Black Templar, and since I base in black a lot,
Not going to do
it
you
kind of
much.
yeah, not gonna do me much. But what I think it might end up doing is like when I base in black and then like go over things with like a gray and then contrast paint it, it might give me like a super dark gray.
Why do you?
That
So let me ask you: do you like prime? Do you always prime black?
Yep. The only time I haven't is when I was doing like stormtroopers or the zombies, and that's because the zombies I was doing a speed paint, so it was easy enough just to do a wash over everything. Like so, you hit it with the major colors you want to pop, and then you hit it with a wash, and it stains it.
Yeah.
And then with the stormtroopers, it was just straight cancer to do anything other than just base white. And
Yeah, I was
then
going to say that would sound awful.
yeah, no, it's pretty awful. So having done like a squad of stormtroopers that way, it was just straight awful. So I primed every other stormtrooper white. So um, I also did skeletons white because then I hit them with the a quick coat of bleach bone and then did a wash. So um, basically anything that was like undeadish was really good doing white. And then for the most part, like the black is a lot more forgiving. I've noticed,
Yeah,
and that's probably the biggest reason is that the black is more forgiving.
it
I
definitely
don't have to,
can be.
yeah, I don't have to go over nearly as much. And typically, the vast majority of the paint uh, colors that I'm wanting to get are not a supremely vibrant one. I think the last like supremely vibrant one that I wanted to get was a Keeper of Secrets for 40K,
Yeah,
and that one I did white, but for the most part, mostly just black. So
cool.
I actually don't even have white primer here in the house, um, so I need to get some more next time I go to the store.
Yeah, I usually prime white, but I've been slumming it a little bit during this and haven't splurged for the white primer I usually get. So I've been
Mm-hmm.
using this tan primer.
I honestly was thinking about messing around with gray primer,
Gray's pretty
just
good.
because just because I think it would be like a happy middle ground, and like I wouldn't have to scale up too much or go down too much as far as my paint palette
Yep.
would go. Because like one of the problems that you do have with priming black is if it's one of those models that doesn't have a lot of detail work that you want to get some detail on it, um, you need to have a light primer on there, like a light black of the primer. Otherwise, your paint is just going to get swamped in all the recesses and what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's same goes for like white and everything like that. But with those lighter colors, you don't have to slop nearly as much paint to cover the black and bring it up, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you should always do like thinner coats anyways, just so that it's not sloppy looking. But when you're like speed painting and things like that, uh, sometimes like you don't thin your paints down as much, or it's I would imagine it'd just be a lot more forgiving.
Yeah.
I mean, not being a supreme like paid artist or anything like that, I still have to experiment a lot with it, but I think it would be one of those things that would be worth experimentation at least.
There it is. Wakanda forever.
I like that movie a lot. I think that's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
I honestly didn't get through it.
That's fair. I mean, like it it drug at sometimes, but like the whole story arc of like Killmonger and everything like that, I kind of liked, and like the idea of like it being just technology, and like a little bit of the mysticism with the flowers and everything like that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the appeal.
Right.
It's just there was a part in the movie that I just turned it off.
Hmm.
and it was one of those movies I was planning on watching again sometime, but I just never did.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of time. He ain't died yet.
I know. I got Disney Plus.
Yeah. I mean, I think Disney Plus is probably one of the greatest like streaming services ever to come out.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty good.
just because the global empire that is the mouse. So
Mm-mm-mm.
yep, 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 yep. All the tedious work.
So you're painting it, but you haven't played the game.
What, Crisis Protocol? No, 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 I haven't. It's one of those games that I looked at and Rod was like, "Hey man, you want to buy this new crack?" And I'm like, "No, sir.
Okay,
No,
well,
Satan. I'm
anytime
good."
Rod offers you a new game, you just say no.
Well, yeah, yeah,
This
no,
this is
that's
no.
exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was, and I was like, "Not today, Satan." And because like Rod picks up a game and then like gets rid of it in 6 months, so I just kind of figured
Yep.
that like 6 to 8 months from then, when he showed it to me, he was gonna try to get out of it. So, and then maybe I pick it up from him for cheap. But even then, it's a matter of like, how much more time do I have? How much more money should I spend on things? Because I'm wanting to get into Armada and uh, Legion. So I think those two games would be where most of my like free money would go as far as like tabletop.
Yeah, if you have the group to play those games, they're great.
Hmm.
It's just whether you're going to have people commit to it.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we have a decent group here in town. There's probably about like 7 or 8 folks that play Legion, and then about like that many that play Armada. And most of the folks that play Armada also play X-wing, and we got about like 20 or so in town that play X-wing. So I mean intermittently. Um, so showing up on a Thursday night, which I mean would have been tonight, uh, we'd have anywhere from like 10 to 12 folks on average
Yeah.
at the game store. So which I mean varying degrees of skill level and everything. You'd have oh probably about like 4 or 5 of those that were actually like decent. Oh balls! I just opened up a pot of no that I didn't mean to because I already had another pot that was open.
I
That
mean,
sucks.
it's not like it spoils.
I mean, it might. You never know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Well,
Don't judge me.
speaking of washing, I'm going to go ahead and do me some washing.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe. Where's my pot? There it is. Yeah, this Killmonger model's pretty cool. He's all like,
Yeah. I'd imagine that like doing a nice dry brush over him, you'd be able to hit like all those uh, raised edges and everything like that. Great. So.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Take it easy, Russ. I know you got to do real work in the morning.
Oh, oh, Russ is leaving us.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
Russ works for the man,
Oh, okay. So he's the man.
the IRS.
Okay. Well, luckily I paid my taxes.
We always make fun of him for that, and he's like, I don't worry about those.
Nice.
He goes after the big fish.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Like
Well,
sometimes he tells me, he's like, yeah, I had to do this and this with this much money and millions of dollars, and I'm like, good God.
I mean, like, I get nervous messing around with the budget for my own department, and my department's budget is like maybe like $2 million, something like that.
Yeah,
Uh, so I actually this last year was like wrote up like I think it was $175,000 budget request
yeah.
for our new camera system for our buses, and I was just kind of like, whew, oh boy, let's hope I don't screw this up and go with the wrong choice. So I don't know.
It's kind of funny.
Well, I mean, like a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, man, it's not even our money. It's like, well, I mean, I'm a steward of taxpayer money, so I don't want to like screw up and do the wrong thing. So
It's true. Yeah, once I'm done washing these models, I'll show you. Oh God, the king!
Ah,
He fell.
oh, that's no good.
It's like Gandalf. He
Gonna come
fell.
back with like new gear and another level.
Yeah. What a jerk.
Yeah.
The hell was I saying? Oh, after I'm
You were
done,
talking.
after I'm done with these washes, I'll show you some of these Game of Thrones models that are pretty cool that I got right here.
Oh, nice. Maybe then want to wash will do.
Yeah, it is.
Almost cheating.
I don't feel bad about it at all.
Oh no, no, 100% not. 100% not. I mean, it's the technology. So we have the tools, we have the power.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you really I could do all this stuff without the paints. It just would be more time consuming.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's kind of like the same argument for non-metallic metallics.
Yeah. Killmonger. Shaka Zulu, Eric.
Jeez.
Every time I teach,
Oh,
every time I teach about Zulu, everybody's like, "Wait, is this like was Wakanda for real?" It's like, no, they just copied the tribal characteristics of in the movie. That's pretty
hmm.
much Wakanda is pretty much Zulu.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you ain't wrong. Kind of reminds me that I want to watch. What was it Rourke's Drift? That movie with Michael Caine. I need to watch that again. That'd be fun. I haven't watched that in a while. My dad and I used to watch that a decent amount when I was on like Encore and what have you.
Yeah.
Yup, yup, yup.
So, are you watching a bunch of models or just the one?
I was just watching this one. Just doing the Iron Man one.
Okay.
The other guys aren't anywhere near washing. They're still getting like the. They have the primer on them, and I need to do the base coats of the paint.
So you are
So
not
the
you are not assembly lining it.
no, no, 100% not. Mm-mm. Nope. Mm-mm. Not gonna do it. uh, this is how I stay sane while painting. Uh,
I mean, don't mind me. I just got five models in front of me.
no, I mean I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but like they're all gonna be slightly different with the base coats and all in different stages of
Yeah.
going through things. Um, like these lost cats, I'm going through and doing a oh, kind of like a darker brown. I think it's beastie brown
Yeah.
over them because it goes from brown to kind of an orangish, so they have kind of like a fox look to them, and then eventually they'll have stripes on them and what have you. So, but I'm on the stage of painting them brown over the black. So, and I'm going through the 4 bases of them. So, and I'm doing that while I'm waiting for the wash to dry on Iron Man because Iron Man is the focus of what I want to finish tonight. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, I want to try to get these because these are the last 5 models I have for this commission.
Okay.
So once I get them done, that commission's wrapped up, and we'll
Sweet.
get some of that YouTube money.
Oh, nice, nice.
YouTube
YouTube,
money.
nice. Yeah, buddy.
Eric, you have very kind eyes.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if that was a comment that was stated or not, but
Nope,
I appreciate it.
just me.
Oh, okay, that's neat. That's neat. A little awkward now, but neat.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Hey, did I tell you about my mother-in-law? Like, got hit on while doing a yoga class for old people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Like some dude, like basically uh, came in the chat and said something about like wanting to massage her feet, and she was like, "Sir, are you lost?"
It's like, I want to be on you.
Whew, no, yeah.
When this is all
That was
over, we should move in with each other.
no. I'm gonna say hard no. Uh, hard no.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
Man, I wonder if they're gonna make like a third one of those.
Hopefully not. The second one was awful.
Second one was not the greatest. I still thought it was pretty funny.
I mean, sure, Will Ferrell can still be funny in bad movies.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I feel you. It's kind of like Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler can be bad in bad movies. Oh, sorry, funny in bad movies.
I was like, I don't think that came out the way you wanted it to.
I mean, it came out kind of the way I wanted it to. Uh,
Mm,
yes, yes, yes. Speaking of movies, I've been seeing that a lot of the big movie companies are looking to just start doing like direct streaming service for their movies, like the ones that were supposed to be coming out over the summer.
yeah,
Uh, that way, they don't take like the as massive of a hit by like not releasing them when they're supposed to. Because
yeah.
they're like, for example, Disney was looking at least like changing up their release schedule for the new Mulan movie.
Hell yeah, I've been waiting for
And
that.
yeah, me too. I've been I like the cartoon, and I think I'll like the live action one just as much, if not more. I mean, I've liked most of the live action ones that I've seen. Um, I haven't seen them all, admittedly,
Yeah.
but the Lion King and the Aladdin one I really liked. So
I don't know. I feel like Will Smith was almost handicapped a little bit in that.
okay, so Will Smith in an interview said that he wanted to preserve the memory of Robin Williams doing his thing, but
Hmm.
also in doing so make it his own. So that it was honoring him, but also by not just straight trying to emulate.
Yeah.
And I respected that when I read it, and then kind of like went into my thinking of how the movie was going to go based upon that interview. And in doing so, I was pleasantly surprised and happy with everything that was going on it.
Yeah, I was happy
Um,
too. There was just a couple of times where it seemed kind of meh, like he was kind of just going through the motions.
yeah, I mean there was some lip service, but I think given the constraints, like you were saying, he was a little bit handicapped. He couldn't be as like vibrant or alive as Robin Williams' character was. And in fact, like I want to say that in Disney's vault, they said that they have like another like 30 or 40 hours of recordings of Robin Williams as Genie, and I'm just like, that's really impressive. Um,
Yeah, just the total sheer amount of like outtakes. Oh man, it was. I was watching the Community, and it
mhm.
was the one where Pierce had these writers write him jokes
Oh yeah, yeah,
while they were bashing movies and stuff,
yeah,
and he was
yeah,
just spitting them out one after the other, and they were
yeah.
like,
Firing for effect.
they're like, that's impossible. I mean, even the great Robin Williams, only did this many, and
Yeah.
because yeah, Robin Williams used to just go through like a bunch of just different random things.
hmm I I think the world was a little bit of a darker place when Robin Williams passed. So,
Yeah, you're probably not wrong there.
mm,
All right, so we got to wash on all these boyos
mhm.
and girlos.
Okay, I'm looking at your screen real quick to see what you're doing.
I mean, really just
And
waiting for.
there's a delay. So I can't quite see. No, tu pero ¿por qué no tíos?
I got to kind of position mine weird because your face is in part of my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you do the bases for the Crisis Protocol things,
Yep.
most of them looks like they're on street level. Do
Yep.
you ever on the roundy parts do anything other than just do them black, or do you do them a different color to offset like different squads or
Uh,
anything like that?
I will show you.
Okay.
So I usually just do them black, but my buddy Joe actually
Hmm.
he likes to have them different colors to distinguish their um I don't know what it is,
Like
and it's allegiance team.
affiliation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
affiliation. That's it. So like for all the bad guys,
Mhm.
so they have the Cabal. I think it is for that game. They have these
Okay.
red. They have these red bases,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then for the Avengers, they all have these blue base rings.
Okay.
And for I think the Asgardians, I did green.
Hmm.
I did yellow for Guardians of the Galaxy,
Okay.
and I think for Wakanda, I'm going to do a brown base.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yep. So
Hmm.
no, I was gonna let's see here. I think the only one I got close by. So for A Song of Ice and Fire, so I
Hmm.
got the Mountain That Rides,
Okay.
which is a huge model,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's a big guy.
and just for scale effect, we'll put Bucky next to him.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's a very large man on a very large horse.
Yeah.
I think your washer's done.
That'd be my dryer, sir.
I think better than what your dryer used to be.
Yeah.
Maybe that was your washer. You used to have that god awful one that was like.
Oh yeah. 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 No, I feel you. Oy.
And then,
Yep. The mountain that rides. That's a big one.
well, and
That's
then
a big
there's the mountain on foot.
one. Hmm.
But yeah, I guess while I'm waiting on those to dry, I'll probably paint up this.
So the mountain, what you did with that was that you primed it, and then you did the contrast wash, right? Like the Templar and everything like that over the metal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it created almost like a black armor effect.
Yeah.
All right, Bucky, go away, Bucky. So, in Godtear, they have followers and stuff for all these champions, and right.
Hmm.
So this champion's name is Half Tusk.
Half tusk. Okay.
Because hey, look, one of his tusks is only half.
Nice. Nice. I see what you did there.
So, anyways, his followers, these little guys,
Hmm.
are called the Froglodites. They're
The
like
Froglodites.
they're like troglodytes, but frogs.
Okay. I mean, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there.
I mean,
And
I didn't name
it's
them.
not,
That's their actual
not
name the
clever.
company gave them.
No, no, I feel you. I feel you. But
It's
like, you're
it's
the
a,
one that's introducing them to me, so it's your ownership of the name.
that's fair.
So, I do like the God tier miniatures. They are pretty slick. I don't know.
It's one of
It's
those. It's one of those things where I would recommend to people like if they enjoy like God tier.
mhm.
I mean, I would recommend be like, hey, you like the God tier? If somebody's playing it in your area, I would totally play it, but
Yep.
I wouldn't just pick it up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Luckily, we had a
There,
few people that were interested in it, so I kind of got into it.
yeah, there's in fact nobody that's interested in it in my area. At least as far as like pre-Rona.
Yeah.
There might be more people now. I don't know. So,
And if you
you never know.
want to learn more about the game of God tier, you can listen to our podcast, The Rage Quit Wire.
Oh gosh, golly, that's true. I feel like I was just in a commercial.
Well, you want to know what, Eric? You were.
Yeah, I felt it.
Hmm.
I walk with it. So have you painted up the Iron Man yet?
Yes.
What style of Iron Man did you do?
Traditional.
Well, I mean, there's several different traditional Iron Man, so that's why I'm
Robert
asking.
Downey Jr.
Okay. He also has had several different iterations of his Iron
All
Man
right, listen here,
suit.
hyper nerd. He had green. He had red and gold armor.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking. Just wanting to see where your nerd flag is flying and how
You
much.
need to. I mean, I don't even know what you would call the different Iron Man skins.
They're just different mark versions of his suit.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I'm just asking, man. I mean, don't. Hmm. Oh, that's gross. Hmm. Chunky.
Gross.
Yeah, I know. I was not pleased about it. Believe you me, it was not something that I enjoyed.
So you want to hear something interesting about this half tusk model?
Okay.
So you can kind of see it, but if you look at his chest, I'm painting around his nipples currently, and
Okay.
he has these homemade nipple rings, and there's a bit of rope going from one nipple ring to the other.
Why do I want to see that? Man, I don't know why I
uh,
looked at that.
that's so good.
I don't know why I looked at it, but I did.
I'm gonna
It was like
paint that so it sticks out severely,
it was like a train wreck. I didn't really want to look at it, but I
because he's gonna be this dark blue kind of skin, and I'm gonna paint that nipple as like a bone so it like sticks super out. You're gonna see it from a mile away. Hey, if Andrew Cuomo can have nipple rings, so can Half Tusk.
what is that a thing?
Oh my God, you haven't seen that?
No, I haven't.
Well, now I gotta send it to you.
No, please don't.
Here, I'm gonna make the little man in the window the full man in the window. So now all they
Why?
see is you, so they don't have to stare at Half Tusk nipples. Let's see
I'm not.
here.
I'm not that. And apparently, Como nipples. Jesus.
All right, where are we? Where's the meme?
I have nipples, Greg. Can you look me?
All right, it's coming your way. Get excited.
I don't want to be excited about Andrew Cuomo's nipples.
Oh man, you're gonna see it and you're gonna like it.
Oh my god.
Okay, maybe you won't like it, but you're gonna see it.
Did you just text it to me or what?
Oh
Oh my
yeah,
god.
oh yeah, you just got it.
Let me finish with this. I regret opening up this picture, aren't
I mean, it's not like crazy. It's just kind of like, are those? It kind of looks like. Oh god. I mean, you tell me. You tell me.
I mean, what he chooses to do, yeah, they do. Right? Either he has weird areolas or he has pierced nipples. That's what that is. Uh, and I'm not one for kink shaming. That's not my kink. Kink
Yeah,
shaming
right.
is not my kink. But at the same time, like, eh.
Hey, you got to be some kind of man to be rocking that, right?
Or is he a Muppet?
He's a very manly man, or he's a muppet of a man. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Or he's a very manly muppet. I'm not sure.
Am I a man? Am I a Muppet?
Man in a box.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Gold.
So this is why people shouldn't be like terrified to paint models because I know how to paint, but if you look at this half tusk,
Mhm.
he looks like a drow or something just terrible. Like it just looks not good right now.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like painting is really forgiving as long as you have a uh, definitive idea of what you want it to look like in the end.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a matter of getting from point A to point B and realizing that painting is a journey,
Yep.
and that it's not always going to be pretty. Sometimes you're going to go through the slums. Sometimes you're going to go through the uh, sweet areas that like you kind of feel like you're almost there, but it's not quite.
Yep.
But ultimately, it's a matter of like knowing that the end is going to look the way you kind of want it at the very least.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, because I'm kind of painting half tusk kind of interestingly, where it's going to be this dark blue that I'm working with right now,
mhm.
but it's also going to eventually fade into different tones of lighter blue, especially on his
Okay.
stomach, because traditionally, if you look at trolls' underbellies and stuff, they're usually a lighter color.
Okay. I'm not that familiar with the anatomy of a troll, but
I
I'll
vaguely
take your word for it.
I vaguely recall your dad getting sat on by a troll.
Oh my god,
Do you
yeah.
do you
I mean
remember
that
his? Do
happens.
you remember? Did that character die and he have to re-roll?
Yeah, his gnome. Yeah, he tried to do some nimbly bimbly shit and he failed on his dex check.
You're like, are you really
Uh,
doing that?
it's like, okay, dude. Well, you lost your hand. He's like, well, I'm an illusionist, so fuck me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Brutalitops is dead.
Please hand in your character sheet. I attack him. I attack Blackface.
Yeah, it's. I was actually kind of excited because Wizards was basically licensed D&D to do Theros book,
Oh, okay.
and so it's the plane of Theros, but
hmm
it's D&D. So I was pretty excited
I,
about that.
I did see that, and I think so. I'm one of those guys that just if I see D&D books, I generally buy them.
Hmm.
So I think I might have that one. It's either that or the Ravnica one.
So you have the
Uh,
Ravnica one. The Theros one isn't coming out until July now.
okay, okay. So, um, but it will probably also be added to my collection too, just for giggles.
Well, Ravnica is also interesting just because of all the different guilds.
Mm-hmm. I tend to agree. I'm not a super like magic person with a lot of the lore and everything like that, but I do try to keep it up on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Considering it's one of those games that like I've played off and on since I was I don't know 7.
What's your most expensive commander deck you have?
Nath.
What?
Nath is a guild leaf. His deck is a really angry and nasty denial deck. He is green and black, and uh, the way that my brother and I built it, because well, I mean, Oren basically has the equivalent of a card store's stock and selection for Magic cards.
Yeah.
I want to say he has like about $50,000 worth of Magic cards.
Good God.
I mean, the
Does he have the Power
yeah,
9 or parts of it?
he has I think 6 pieces of it.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and the only reason why he doesn't have the other parts of it is that he, well, I mean, one hasn't had an opportunity to pick up the rest of it, nor has had like really the inclination to,
Yeah.
because he's like it would just go sit in a case and then sit there
Yeah.
because I'm not going to play with that. So, but let's see, Nath with everything on there, all the tutor effects, all the various other burn cards out of your hand effects and what have you, is I want to say like $1,400-$1,500.
Good God, man.
Yeah, and it's also one of those decks that says, "Congratulations, you ignored me until about turn like 5 or 6, and I'm just going to make it so that you don't have any fun.
So borderline competitive EDH deck.
Yeah, yeah. It is definitively one of those ones where it's like I just want to be. It's a troll deck pretty much. I mean, I'm out there to like troll people. So, and if you don't know what the deck does, then you're not gonna know what to prevent it from doing.
Yeah. What's the grossest card you have in there?
Um, Balls. It's more of a combination of cards.
So it's just it's a combo deck then.
Yeah, yeah.
So you probably got stuff like there in like what's that, Cloud whatever, Curio.
More than likely. I can't remember the exact deck list off the top of my head. It's been about 6 months since I played it.
Yeah.
But it's cards like I want to say Black Sun Zenith, which is stupid in that deck.
Yeah.
Because you're basically wanting to blow cards out of people's hands, and then when they don't have any cards to blow out of their hand, then they just take damage. So, I mean, for lack of a better way to put it,
Suck a turd.
pretty much. It's like, congratulations, you just discarded 7 cards. That means I get a bunch of these little 1/1 minions that I can then sack to make you do other things and burn more cards.
So you have like you probably have like Dictator Erebos and some other goodies in there.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
goodies.
My most expensive deck is maybe $300.
I gotcha. I mean, it's my brother has a completely folded out Marchesa deck, so that's pretty sick. That's probably about like.
Marchesa can be a hoe.
Yeah, especially with like Ashnod's Altar and all that other fun jazz.
Yep, that's a good card.
Yep.
Is that the Marchesa that steals all your stuff?
Yes, and then sacrifices it to make it so that other things do angry shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I built that and realized that I wouldn't make friends.
Orin doesn't care about making friends because they're going to play him regardless.
He does not.
Yeah.
Well, he's an interesting case because he is one of those guys who is just straight up salty and a jerk, right? But yeah. And I know what you're gonna say because obviously he's your brother and stuff. But I say jerk, but he's more like doesn't care, right? And it comes off as being a jerk.
It's the take him as you will, and if you're his friend, he's loyal to a fault. But if he thinks you're a turd, then he's going to treat you as such.
Yeah.
And then not have any remorse about treating you that way.
Yeah. And he'll just be relentless with you too.
Yep.
But what I was going to say is that he's interesting because I know that he probably is the same way when he plays Magic, where he's just straight up power gaming the crap out of you. And but people probably still want to play him just because he's really good, right?
Yep, exactly. It's the I want to say the last time that he went and did like pro level stuff and everything like that, and like rankings and everything, he was like ranked, I want to say 6th or 7th in the state for Magic, and especially in modern format because he has his merfolk down and plays those guys like relentlessly. But it's because he understands the outs. He understands everything on there. And I wouldn't power gaming, I think, is a little bit too harsh of a word for it because he definitely scales his play to who he's playing. Yeah. So if he's playing a commander game, he definitely asks what everybody's intentions are when they're playing, if they're just like messing around and everything like that. And he doesn't build bad decks, but it's a matter of like how much bang for the buck does he put into it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Because he definitely tries to play to win, but not everybody can play at the same level. So if he's playing against like newer folks, then he'll like bring like a $200 or $300 commander deck type stuff.
Yeah.
But like if it's a tournament or something, then like gloves are off. Everybody's there for money. So, and it's one of those like quarter is neither asked nor given type situations.
Yeah.
Like I feel that I empathize with that because once again in a tournament it's a different level of play and you should expect a different level of play. I mean you shouldn't expect like pricks, but you should expect like everybody to know what they're doing and not to like be hyper forgiving if you forget your triggers and everything.
Oh yeah,
So
because like, oh, I could have done this. It's like, yep, you totally should have done that.
yep, and that's exactly it. Um, like oh damn it,
Well, it's
and
the
he's
same
like
thing.
yeah,
It's the same thing in tournaments for tabletop, where
hmm
at the end of the game, you're like, hey, if you would have done this, you totally would have got me.
exactly, exactly.
And I was
So
actually just going to ask you that because that's something Dennis and I talked about last week a little
hmm
bit, where
yeah,
we were talking about because I think Commander for Magic does this really well, where they
hmm
have almost this discussion. At least you should at the beginning
hmm
of your game, and you're like, hey, what power level are you playing right now? And I know how long have
hmm
you been playing, and do you want this to get super powerful, or do you just want to have a fun match?
yep,
I think we need more of that in tabletop games
hmm
because I feel like it's the same way where sometimes if we're playing, hey, you're doing a lot of X-wing right now, right?
yep. Well,
So
I mean like when I'm able to go out and everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's the same thing I feel like with X-wing, where we could
hmm
both be like, oh, let's play X-wing, and if you bring your like balls out tournament list, I don't know what a good tournament list looks like for X-wing right now, but I used to know what it looked like.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, I'm bringing Soontir, and I'm bringing this, and I'm bringing Palpatine flying around,
Agreed.
and
Agreed.
and you're just bringing the starter kit.
I like X-wing. Yay!
There
Yeah.
needs to
No,
be
I
a
feel you.
conversation, right?
I feel you. And like everybody's community is going to be slightly different. And I'm very fortunate in the fact that the community in and around Manhattan is really good as far as X-wing when it comes to understanding that win-win mentality of like we're both wanting to play a game and we're both wanting to have fun.
Yeah,
Now, there's obviously always going to be a few outliers, and that there's always going to be the folks that are going to try to take it to extremes. But um, for the most part, the community in around Manhattan, Wichita, and up into Kansas City for X-Wing is probably the most friendly and congenial tabletop crowd that I have ever encountered. Um, and I don't know why that is. I I can't even hazard a guess because coming from 40K, where it's pretty cutthroat on the tournament scene,
yeah, yeah.
I, uh, I just don't know. I mean, like the closest thing I can throw it akin to was when we played fantasy, and those guys from Lawrence would come in, and they were really nice, but they were really good. Um, and like there's the occasional guy, like the one guy from Topeka that was like kind of power gamey, but like still pretty nice about it. It's just he knew what he was bringing, and like he knew that
Yeah.
his stuff was like on the more borderline broken side.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, in the average game, I have not noticed the level of douchiness that I did when I played 40K, uh, and I don't know why that is. Um, I don't know what other people's experiences are in their area, but for the most part, like I haven't been to any system opens. I haven't been to any of the major stuff. I was actually planning on going to a couple of the major stuff this year. Like when we're looking at going to Gen Con and or Nova and everything like that.
Thanks a lot,
Uh,
Obama.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Oh, cause yeah, Obama. um, but I don't know. Like it's because I know that Fantasy Flight put off all their organized stuff until at least September. Is
Yeah.
what they said in their latest press release. Is
Yeah.
that for the sake of the community, for the sake of like everybody, they're not doing anything official as far as like system opens and things like that until September, and they're looking to reschedule some of those major ones, but we shall see. So
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you also, and anybody that hasn't gamed out in the Midwest, I love it because we always had a really good group. Generally speaking, games were always really, really fun.
hmm
Um, But I was actually going to ask you also, what is your local game shop? I don't know how close you are with them now, but do they have plans for reopening, or are they still kind of just waiting?
Yes, a little bit of both. We have two game stores in town. One's Village Geek and the other one's Goblin Games. I always will love Goblin Games more than I love any other game shop in town because it's run by my good friend Joey. I have a pretty good rapport with him, known him for years. Um, Helped him with like community organizing for 40K and stuff like that. And uh, he is a really good guy. And luckily, with the community that we have in and around Manhattan, like they have tried to help him out and support him as best they can through his like online sales. So he's had like curbside pickup. He's done like deliveries out and everything like that to try to limit contact. And luckily, during the course of this, he had a bit of construction that was going to be going on anyway. So he's like, "Cool, we'll just do this construction and like lay down new flooring and everything like that in the store." Uh, so he's doing all right, but he's also they have um, really concerning. Concern is probably not the right word. Uh, they have a great concern for their community as a whole, and they want to make sure that everybody stays happy, healthy, and safe. So uh, because of our governor's orders, they're not going to open up to the public again, as far as like people can be inside the store again, until the 18th of May. Um, but they are actively encouraging anybody and everybody that if they need to get their fix, they need to get stuff to like just email them, text them, everything like that. They'll come down to the store. They'll get whatever board game, card game, anything that they're wanting to get, and then like basically just sell it to them right then and there.
That's cool.
Which is real slick. I don't know if Final Round is doing the same thing out in South Carolina or was before you guys' like orders were lifted and everything. Um, but they're also looking at the long range forecasts of the health and safety of the community as a whole, and they're kind of pumping the brakes on doing like major tournaments and everything like that, like i.e. more than 30 people.
Yeah.
So like some of those Magic pre-releases, everything like that, they're gonna pump the brakes on those, and then potentially shift them to doing like Magic Online, Magic Arena type things,
Yep.
and then seeing if they can give out prize support in physical form. So you win that, then you get like physical form prize support from the store, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
That way, folks stay safe. That way, folks still get to participate and do those type of things. Um, and I thought that was kind of neat. Like the X-Wing communities kind of did something similar with like a couple of big tournaments over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
One of them was run by the Fly Better podcast, and another one was done by Gold Squadron. And the Fly Better one is like a multi-week type thing where you just like get your pairings and then go play somebody throughout the week. Kind of like what we did for League almost.
Yeah.
But they were doing it more of a tournament status where like they do the minimum 6 rounds and then they cut to 16 and then go from there. But Gold Squadron did a actual live tabletop simulator. Everybody plays over the course of like 2 days and gets their rounds and everything like that. So it was like a tournament, but everybody was basically sitting at their computer all day.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, I liked it, and Gold Squadron did a like live stream of it, so it was pretty slick.
Yeah,
Um,
I was in a tournament that I was gonna play in, but it was a 1 day tournament. I thought it was gonna be like a weekly
mhm.
get your round in, this day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
since it wasn't that though, I ended up not playing in it because I'm like I can't sit in front of my computer the whole day.
That's fair. I mean, it depends upon what it's for. I could do that. I mean, I would attribute it no more than like standing at a table all day and everything like that. Like I would probably get up and walk around in between rounds and or get up and walk around like and when it's not my turn in the game and everything like that. I mean, especially considering I have a wireless headset. So
Well, it wasn't
uh,
that I like would be uncomfortable playing. The
mhm.
bigger issue was like, oh, I have other stuff I was planning on doing today.
Yeah, and that was the thing is that I was looking at with those type of tournaments is just like you'd have to set aside the entire day. That
Yeah,
just like you would like a regular tournament, you would have to set aside the entire day. All right. So I just finished up with the
oh,
going over of this
ti-
guy.
tiny man in the window. Hold on,
Yeah, yeah.
go.
All right. Can you guys see this?
Oh,
We good?
we can see it.
Okay. So I still
What's
got.
up with the center of his chest?
Oh, that's where his power cell's at.
Yeah, yeah, but what paint you got on there so far?
Oh, so I built up from a dark blue, magic blue. Then I went to an electric blue, and then went over it with a uh, this blue.
Yeah, put that some
So,
bitch back up in front of the camera. No, not that. I want the damn model,
uh,
dude.
don't don't yell at me. You're not my real dad.
I'm your director because it almost looks like it just almost looks like there's energy kind of inside of it. It kind of is a cool little
Yeah.
effect.
hmm And that was the aim. So I did that for his hand and his eyes and the power cell. And the power cell is like obviously going to show more because it's a bigger area. So and it contrasts really good with the darker red and then the gold and everything like that around
Oh
it. So
yeah.
it's just a bright color with that on it. So
Shut up, Rupert.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you all right over there?
I based some miniatures and some of that like foam flock or whatever you get like the foliage is still on my words paper towel that I'm using to like wipe off my paintbrush with, and
Eh.
I have the habit of licking and then twisting in order to get my paintbrush to be the way that it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So and every now and then it's getting a piece of something in your mouth. So words words are good.
A piece of Rupert.
Yes, a piece of Rupert. That's exactly it. Piece of Rupert.
Mm-mm. Kind of funny. I thought Thursday would be kind of a day where we'd get more people on this because it's kind of closer to the weekend, but
Mm-hmm.
I find that not to be true. So I'm like, maybe it's something that needs to be. I don't know. I don't know what day would work better.
I don't know. I mean, like paint casts are one of those like hit and miss things. I found anyways. When I watch them, they need to be like advertised out fairly well. Plus, your follower base needs to be a little bit more involved than normal because it's not like um a normal one where it's just a like watching a battle report or something. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's something that I just want to keep. I think the biggest thing too is just consistency.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I mean, I got no problem talking to empty space. I mean,
Well, that's why it's better.
you.
That's why it's better too, because it's not talking to empty space. Because it's like, oh, I can just sit here and we'll just talk with each other, and if people hop in the chat, great.
Yeah, exactly. So, um, but yeah, no, I like doing this. Like I said, it's cathartic to paint with somebody else that you're talking to. So, and getting folks into the chat would be awesome. But at the same time, I'm content talking to you.
Well, plus it is later.
It is. It is. Um, yeah.
I don't mind doing, but some people, I don't know who, some people still work during this pandemic.
Yeah. Well, and you are putting it up on YouTube, so it's not like it's nobody is going to be watching or anything like that eventually. So, um,
Exactly.
oh, so like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. That build up. So I'm putting another brighter shade of red over the top of Iron Man, just so I can make his armor pop a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's the layering effect that I'm not I wouldn't say not used to doing. I don't do a lot of on like miniatures in general, just because it's one of those more time intensive things because you're basically painting the same miniature 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
But since I'm painting this for my buddy, I want to make sure that it pops on the battlefield.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and it's a decently simple thing to do when you go over. I mean, you do it a lot, um, but it's also, in my mind, uh, more aesthetically pleasing than edge highlighting because you still have the undersides of the darker colors as long as you're like just building up that lighter color in the
Yeah.
center and you're leaving some of the darker color underneath.
Yep.
So, and once again, I go back to it's a little bit more forgiving paint style as well.
Let's see. Do I want to leave those that way? Don't think I do. No can do'sville, baby doll.
What you do?
Struggling.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
This reminds me of painting my ogres.
Oh, geez. All them back boobs.
That was always that trap army. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
What do you think I
it's like,
mean? What do you think I mean by trap army?
because you don't think it's going to be good until like you run into the one trick, but once you figure out that one trick, you got them, and then you think, man, maybe I want to try that one trick, and then you get sucked in, and then you just don't like the way that it plays. I
So
mean, that's what.
that's like part of it. But I
Yeah,
also think it's a trick army, and I think there's a lot of these in a lot of different games where you get tricked by it because it looks really cool.
Yeah.
And then you buy into it just because it looks cool, and then you play it and you're like, oh no.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. I mean, luckily, much like a lot of those other armies that are low model count, it's fairly easy to paint
Yeah.
because they're bigger miniatures and a lot of like open spaces on them. And while they do have like decent amount of details, those details can be like went over fairly fast because you can go for effect as opposed to like actually fixating,
Yeah.
unless you're like really wanting to fixate. Um, I've seen some really good ogre armies that have not had like that much done to them, but they look so amazing just because it's a matter of like getting the flesh tones just right and then the little bit of detail here and there.
Yep.
So
I agree. Because I feel like you can almost name any game and you'll be like, what's the trap faction in that? What's the one that's like you think would be cool, but you get it and you're just like, nope, I shouldn't have played this.
Kador for War Machine.
Whoa, why are you picking on Kador? I would say Scorn actually for War Machine.
I mean, Scorn is amazing, sir. When I played it, I liked it.
Listen, when they make up a word for your faction because it doesn't go to work with each other, that's not good. Scornergy was a thing.
I know.
Do you want to
It's
explain
good.
what Scornergy was?
If it's the term I'm still thinking of, it's where you inflict pain upon yourself in order to actually do damage.
Yeah, it's like in order to do the thing that you want to do, you have to hurt yourself.
I mean, I look at it more like I cut myself to feel alive.
I don't think that's right.
I mean, that's the way that a lot of them work. I mean, life's cheap as far as models go. Certain pieces are obviously not as cheap as others, but yeah.
Tell you what, I think War Machine's a tough game to sell right now.
I agree. I mean,
I think the mechanics just are. There's actually one of the guys from he runs a podcast on Malifaux, and it's Third Floor Wars. Pretty
Okay.
pretty cool podcast if you get a chance to listen to it.
Okay.
He does Malifaux, but he also does a lot of other just random games and stuff. He actually just did an episode on. They did a live action on Edge of the Empire.
Oh, okay.
But we recorded with him for his podcast as well, and we were talking about just games and how we don't like games that feel antiquated. Meaning, like they had, like don't get me wrong, when they first came out, they were really cool games, but now it's like they haven't updated to really meet what we would call like modernized tabletop game rules, like alternating activations. I think is huge.
Which is amazing that 40K can still get away with it.
I think they almost get away with it because of this. I feel like it's a battered housewife kind of mentality where it's like, oh well, maybe they'll change one of these days, and I'll keep coming back to the well because eventually they're going to listen to me, and they don't.
Honestly, like the alternating activations is amazing, and like I think it actually makes it so that power creep isn't as big of a thing, and it makes it so that list design is less alpha strikey and more about like actual tactics. That's one of those big things.
Think about it, right? Because you can have something broken, but if I have a chance to interrupt it, that's huge. And it's just like in any card game where it's like, oh, are you going to counter my spell? Okay, you did. So yeah, if I have the more chances I have to interact with what you're doing, the less broken it has the potential to be.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I really liked about X-Wing when it was first introduced to me was the fact that
the pilot skill and stuff.
The pilot skill plus like the alternating activation essentially with that pilot skill. I mean, you can set it up so that your guys all go and then you go, and like there's been games where like
but then you're putting points into it.
Exactly. But at the same time, like I am okay with that because it's not going to be like that every single game. And it also makes every single game different because you have to understand that you're not always going to go first, so you should plan for that. It also, the way that the game is set up too, like they have it by design that you don't like engage on the first turn. I mean, there's the rule of 11 where you can, in theory, engage somebody on the first turn, but like you have to be really hauling butt with them really hauling butt going right at you, and the odds of that happening, not that great. And that's the reason why I'm a very big proponent of alternating turns, is because it makes it so that everybody gets a chance to at least play with their damn miniatures. I mean, you don't spend hundreds of dollars on your game and then be like, all right, cool, we're going to play a fancy game of pick up the model. That's just annoying. So, I don't know. I don't like it. That one eye, I want to fix that one eye.
And Eric, usually I would agree with you, but you're a Tau player, so you can shut up.
Oh, yeah, no. But I also would like to point out that I played Tau in 5th edition when they were trash, in 6th edition when they were solid, and in 7th edition where they got kind of nerf batted, and then in 8th edition where they were like really good. So I have went through the trials and tribulations of playing shit-tastic things just because I believe that the aesthetic and playstyle appeal to me, as opposed to, oh my god, this is a good faction, so I'm going to play them, like a lot of those other turds do.
I'm not guilty of that at all.
No. I mean, and I have done it myself. As I was on here last time talking about how when I played my Space Wolves and what have you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, like the aesthetics of Tau, that's always what's been a thing for me, and not like those guys that get like really into anime and everything like that, but more the fact that it's a really nice, clean lines. Um, and like the Gundam suits are cool looking, but like it's the troops that I really like the look of, and the crew I really like the look of. Uh, so I don't know. Maybe I need to go back over with everything. We'll probably. Nope.
Yeah, it's just games that you don't get to interact with are games that I'm kind of moving away from.
I agree. I agree. Those type of games with the those type of games where there is minimal interaction on the you could win a game or lose a game before the other player even gets to go.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of those type of games at all.
Yeah, it's one of those things too where it's just that's kind of why I like Godtear because they really
Mhm.
get around that because if you knock out one of their champions, even if it's that turn, you still get to activate that champion.
Yeah.
You just have to spend one of your actions to rally.
Well, and like X-wing has the same kind of thing with um, initiative kills and what have you. Like, so if you kill something in the same initiative step that it has, it still gets to fire.
Yeah.
So the only time that it wouldn't get to fire is if it's like a lower initiative step. So, for example, if Vader smokes an X-wing,
Yeah.
then that X-wing generally does not get to fire because it was initiative killed at like a higher initiative step.
You mean then
So,
the old what's his name pork chop dude there doesn't get to go?
I mean, I don't think,
Porkins.
yeah, Jack Porkins. I want to say he's like initiative 4. So, if he gets killed by Vader, he's probably just not gonna get to go.
Not
So,
gonna live very much longer.
no, no, not at all.
Yeah, they God tier handled that pretty good just because like I
Mhm.
said, people play the game because they want to use their cool models
Yeah,
and it's really easy in a lot of really competitive games to just be like, "No, dog, I'm gonna kill your toys."
yeah, I understand completely. So, all right, I think I've got him mostly finished. The next step is to finish up the basing and then
All right, let's
matte varnish
transition
him.
here. Go ahead and give him a nice little twirly twirl. Maybe explain kind of what you got left on him.
So, what I got left on him, I think I'm gonna see what he looks like with a matte varnish. Whether or not that like dulls down the look of his armor too much or not.
Yeah,
But for the most part, I am happy with the way that he looks. I might actually end up taking a piece of white, or like a white uh, mark into the center of that glow, just so it like has that like deep rooted this is an energy glow thing. So
yeah.
let me do that real quick. Um, but for the most part, I think he's finished.
Yep. It's kind of like what we've been talking about. Just you got to realize when to call it good.
hmm Well, and you put it down and you look at it and you're like, yeah, that looks pretty good from the 18 inches, 2 feet away, and like even up close, it looks pretty slick. I think. Uh, I'm probably a little bit biased on that, but
No, I think it has a lot of cool detail to it.
yeah. So let me go ahead and finish up that base, and then we'll matte varnish it.
Yeah, interested to see how you're kind of working on those bases because I
Mhm.
usually just kind of do mine gray and just kind of leave them. Like I'll wash them and highlight them, and but I usually just
Yeah.
I kind of cop out a little bit because I'm just like I'm
hmm
uninspired by those bases.
Yeah, I feel you. The they're not like great bases, but they are what they are when it comes down to they are um, prefab, pre-made ones that are better than just like the uh, blank things that you get from a lot of other games.
Yeah.
But the downside to that though is that you don't get to customize them as much, uh, as opposed to the other games where customization is part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you could customize it, but it's just
I mean,
you would have to build off the bases, and they're kind of
yeah.
weird. I don't know.
I mean, the only thing that I could think of is adding like some coarse sand or some like bigger pebbles and one heavy to act as rubble.
Yeah.
Um, and then like occasionally, if you had like another type of base or a bigger base, you could add things to it, like other details like cars or what have you. I mean, hell, they have like cars already, so never mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
Half
I don't know.
Tusk is washed.
Ooh, look at that. He's all nice and silky looking.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Would you look at me? Look at that.
It's all muscly armed troll over here.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So you generally just do like enough gray to get it where it's supposed to be, kind of like street color style, and then like wash it, and then put a identifying ring around the.
Yeah, essentially, like if you look at, I'm putting Black Panther and his kid sister up here. I basically just put gray on the bases, and then I just washed it, and then I'll go back
Okay.
over with the same color gray, and then I'll hit some of the corners up with a lighter gray.
I gotcha.
So that's kind of my go-to for Crisis Protocol,
Nice.
which they are done washing. So I'm going to hit them up, like
Hit that for hey.
like Mr. Tupac said, "Hit 'em up, hit 'em up."
Jesus. You're
Hey.
old, Pete.
Hey, Monty. Yeah, I'm an old white guy.
Yeah, you are.
Yum yum.
Yeah, you are.
Nothing like
What are you
some
drink?
nothing like some chai tea.
I was like, what are you drinking tonight?
I was thinking about drinking with a beer, but I'm like, I'm going to be painting stuff that's not mine, so
No, I feel you. I feel you.
let's put a smile on his face.
Why so serious?
I got my buddy Joe like, why does he look all jacked up? Well, here's the thing. I had a few too many beers.
I got all drunk on Mountain Dew.
Yeah, and do I have, let me see if I have one of these guys that I didn't mess with their base. I think I do. So I think I can show that. There we go. So Godtear is kind of interesting because
Ooh, I could try that contrast.
they
paint on
come with these really board game kind of bases.
it. Yeah.
So I got this Legends looking dude here who also has a nipple ring.
What is it with the nipple rings, man?
They're very, I don't know, decorative? I don't know. But anyways, so you can either keep them very basic like that and then just paint them up.
Yeah.
Or you can do kind of what I did, which is just adding, I got some caulk up here with half tusk and then some sand on the backside.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So it's just one of those things where basing is really kind of what you want to make it on models.
Yeah. I always agree on basing. Basing is what you make of it.
Well, I think it just adds more to the model myself. Like, I don't know if you saw the Sneaky Pete. Yeah, I've sent you several pictures of the Sneaky Pete goblin. And I did the water effect kind of crashing on the rocks.
Yeah, I like that. And that was done with just kind of an epoxy, wasn't it?
No, it's actually just bathroom caulk.
Oh.
And you just kind of, when you put it on there, you just take a toothpick and you just kind of make like waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just let it set for 24 hours and then you just kind of go from there.
All right, so I'm going to try that contrast paint with this just to see if I like it. So here's what it looks like before, and then we're going to put some contrast paint. Do I just glob it on there?
Hold on. I'm going to transition to this. So where are you trying to add this on the model?
Oh, just the base. I'm doing a base with it.
So you're doing the contrast paint on the base.
On the gray.
Sure. I haven't done that before, but it sounds like it could
Well,
work.
I was thinking like it could be kind of like a dark asphalt,
Yeah,
or what have you.
do it on
So
do it on the thing there. Yeah, do the thing.
we'll see. We'll see. We're doing it.
Well, it's all you, tiny man, in the window. So do your thing.
Not looking terrible.
Well, it's kind of like a wash where you really want to just put it there and let it sit for a minute.
Yeah. All right, not terrible. Not hating it.
I actually like what they're doing with a lot of the newer models,
Mm-hmm.
where basically you have the bases that they provide,
Uh-huh.
but then I'll show you they have it here with Killmonger, but they also have it with Black Panther, where they have the added like rubble and Killmonger standing on the Black Panther.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I like that they're adding more to the basing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so far not hating it. It's kind of neatish.
There we go. All right. Very nice. How much?
Yeah. I think I might have to go over it with a dry brush or something, maybe.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the important thing to note with those contrast paints is they're not, I think if you just put the contrast paint down and then you don't do anything else, I think that's a mistake. I think that contrast paints are good, but you definitely still need to build up once they've been applied.
Yes, I agree. That is what I'm seeing as I'm doing it. Alrighty. So, does not look terrible.
All right.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how long do you generally let the contrast paint dry? About as long as you let it wash dry, or what?
Yeah, pretty close to that.
Okay.
It actually dries quicker, but you'll still notice some of it in the recesses, but it does dry quicker.
Okay.
Because it actually dries quick enough where once you put it on, it's hard to manipulate it quickly.
Mm-hmm. I am noticing that. Alrighty. Well, we'll let that dry and see what it looks like here in a little bit. I'm gonna go get me something to drink. I'll be right back.
Get a tasty beverage.
Yes. Whee!
Piece of candy.
I know.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop. I don't always phenomena, but when I do.
Indeed. Way to do it.
It's good television there, Erik. You thirsty whore.
Yep. Cider.
Of the hard variety.
Otherwise, it's just apple juice.
Apparently, the Black Panther's sister is super annoying in game
Oh,
because she can like push models away.
oh, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So I remember one of my friends plays this game a lot, and I saw him playing somebody, and they were playing Hulk, and he
Mhm.
had her and somebody else, maybe it was MODOK, and basically Hulk stayed in the corner because they kept pushing him away.
Nice.
Like, go
That's
away,
funny.
Hulk. Go away, Hulk. Don't love you anymore. I think that used to be like a Travis Tritt song.
Go away, Hulk. I don't love you anymore.
Yeah.
Huh.
She don't love me anymore.
Oh, okay. I was like using the words "Go away, Hulk."
All right, let's actually get my handle here.
Yeah, handle. That is one thing that I've noticed is that the handles don't exactly work too well on a lot of the Crisis Protocol unless you get the bigger one. Uh, so I might end up picking up the bigger one.
I mean, the small size fits okay on there.
Yeah, but I mean, like this size doesn't like fit there really all that well. Oh.
You talking about the one for Iron Man?
Yeah,
I mean, I got what's her face on it right now.
mine does not fit.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just in fact dropped it on the floor. And I'm using this one,
Yeah, that's the one I got right now.
and it does not fit.
You're seeing me, right? You see how mine's in there?
I do not. I mean, let us extend it out fully, maybe. Klaatu, rata, necktie. Oh, there we go. Barely got it in there.
That's what she said.
I know. There we go. Okay, so I was wrong, but it takes a lot more effort than I want to put into it. So,
I say I got the bigger one. I don't even know if it'll
huh.
did just go flying out.
Oh, tiny man in the windows making an ass of himself.
I mean, because they are. I mean, it's the extreme. Like you can't really fit
Ah,
anything
there we go.
much bigger than that base
Mhm.
wise on them.
Yeah. Okay, so I got it. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with a dry brush that came out pretty nice.
Nice.
See?
Nice.
Validate me!
Oh, that's like the best base I've seen in the
See? There
game.
we go. I didn't know that you're going to blow that much smoke up my ass, but I appreciate it.
It's the
It's genuinely,
basest of.
genuinely, like,
Listen, it's a basic base, okay?
it makes me feel happy. I feel appreciated now. I feel pretty. Oh, so witty.
Do you?
I do.
Do you feel pretty and witty and
Right.
yeah?
I feel lovely.
Do you pity
I do.
any girl that doesn't feel that way?
I very much so.
Okay, just gotta check, you know.
Yeah. I'm glad you're looking out for me.
Do you feel charming?
Yes.
Oh, so charming.
Uh-huh.
God damn it! I should just left him in there. Get in there, Killmonger! You're stretching it. Let's go. We'll go for about another 25 minutes, and we'll see kind of where we both are sitting.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like you're getting pretty close to being done with the Iron Man.
I am. I'm excited because as soon as I get the matte varnish on them, then I can take a look at them and then I can send pictures to people. So, like progress pic. Yeah, look at it. Would you look at that? Look at that. He's flying. He's doing all the nimbly bimbly things.
I do the same thing. It's usually later at night than I probably should be sending pictures.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, did you send me a penis pic? I'm like, no. Better.
Is it?
Yes. I'm ultimately not ashamed of it.
I don't know about you, but I actually really like painting dark skin tones.
I don't get that much practice with it because most of the miniatures I've painted have the lighter flesh tones.
Yeah.
But the ones that I have done that are darker, like I do like it. It's just a matter of like trying to turn a Viking into a black guy is not exactly a thing.
Yeah. Right. What? You kidding me?
Yeah.
What about
I mean,
Techno Viking?
He is still very white, and he does not read.
Fair. Let me finish up Killmonger here. Oh fuck! Where's my actual snakebite leather? God damn it!
Weren't you looking for that earlier?
No, that was I found the contrast. I got to get the actual paint though.
Okay. So how do you do the darker skin colors? Because I have one paint that I've used for it in the past. Oh, where's that? It's kind of an ochre color.
Yeah, it's not actually snakebite leather anymore. It's actually XV88.
Yeah. Where's it at? Ah, there we go. Terracotta. This terracotta I've used. And then I just cut it with like either a white or another brown in order to upscale or downscale it.
Yeah.
So. Alrighty. What's that? Yeah, we're still on. We're doing it for about another 20 minutes or so. Yeah. You going to bed? Okay. Okay. I gotcha. I thought I shut off the dryer.
You did, but it wasn't done.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It was not only dry.
All right, so I'll kind of show you this here in a second, just so you can kind of. I just like painting this kind of skin tone.
Okay.
So Killmonger, all hanging out, and just really like the way that's kind of defined. Like I said, just the darker skin tone just turned out really good. Yeah, dig it. Can you dig it?
I can. It's a hip. Hippie.
And like I said, just the Crisis Protocol models just look cool. Like Killmonger,
I agree.
That model is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite know why he's standing on a Black Panther, but it's cool.
What would have been cool is if you turned that into kind of a statue. Instead of like maybe, I don't know if you have kind of a enamel kind of looking paint or like one of those like glossy blacks to turn it looking like obsidian. But that would be really cool if he was standing on like a Black Panther statue instead of the actual like Panther. I don't know if you wanted to keep it with an organic look or not.
I don't know. Is there a bunch of Black Panther statues that he would be standing upon?
I think so. I don't know. Like I said, it's something that you can experiment with and see. So, just ideas.
Yeah.
But no, that looks pretty slick. And I like the way that the necklace like makes everything else pop too. Anytime you can have like contrasting colors like that, it goes a long way for minimal output, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, when we highlight it here in a second, it's really gonna pop.
Yeah. And did you just do that with like kind of a bone color, or did you do that with like white?
No, it was a bone, and then I gave it a brown wash.
Okay.
It's actually the bleached bone,
Gotcha. Okay.
which people that I have to apologize because people that come back and listen to our paint stuff, and people when I talk about paint all the time, like I will say bleached bone, and you know what I mean.
hmm
But unfortunately,
It's not a color thing anymore. Yeah.
yeah, because Games Workshop righted all their bullshit, and now it's
Yeah.
Screaming Skull because they can copyright that apparently.
Apparently, just like they couldn't copyright Space Marine, so they changed it to what was it like?
Astartes, whatever.
Yeah, Death is the Stardust, yeah. And they couldn't copyright Imperial Guard, so they changed it to Astra Militarian, which is stupid. Let's see. Yeah, I found that the black that I have from Vallejo, the just straight black, kind of gives off a glossy color when I paint with it,
Oh yeah.
as opposed to the Abaddon black, which gives off more of a matte from GW. So
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know why that is, but it is. So
Oh yeah, because now if you look at that necklace that I just kind of highlighted white, it just really friggin' pops off of them now.
nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right, what do I want here? Wonder if I use a water effect on that, if it would give it a shine, kind of like obsidian almost.
Um, I don't know honestly. Like
Hmm.
I figure it wouldn't hurt to take a look.
Yeah, I'll mess with that when I get closer to being done.
Yeah. So
All right, I think I'm at a good stopping point. Let's take a look at the gang here.
okay.
Sure, you can hang out in the back. All right, so yeah, I think that's kind of a okay place. I'm gonna leave that. I might even be pretty close to done with a lot of these.
Mhm.
I just need to finish up the bases, and maybe I'll mess with that while we're finishing up here.
Yeah.
I do gotta actually while I got the brown out, let me finish up their skin tones as well because they're ladies that need skin tone
Oh yeah.
definition.
I do like that contrast on the white that you've built up on it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks pretty slick.
Yep.
All right, I'll be right back.
Cool. And let's get hotter. What the hell are you doing?
I'm spray painting, boss. I'm spray painting.
What the hell, man? How the hell did you fail English, Bobby? You speak English.
Yes, indeed. King of the Hill for the win.
Got one of my
Man,
buddies.
David,
I got one of my buddies from North Carolina that absolutely loves King of the Hill.
I like King of the Hill. I think it's one of those like classic ones from when I was a kid. I had David talk trash on it the other day, and I was just like, whatever, bud. Do you? Most anime that you watch is trash.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. So. I'm really excited to do Captain America.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I had fun painting him.
Yeah. How did you get the shield effect down? Like as far as like the shininess of the shield?
Really, it was just. Let's see here. I just painted it normal, and then I just had a semi gloss that you just kind of can add on top of it.
Okay. Yeah. Ultron should be pretty fun.
Yeah, I kept him pretty simple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying about like fun is like I like simple miniatures when it comes to like getting it done and getting it fast because like I don't know, you have a I don't know, from start to finish it's more of a sense of accomplishment if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I think I literally painted him in like 10 minutes, not counting wash time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. He's just basically bolt gun with red.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I did. Not ashamed of
Not
it.
no, that's 100%. And if you really wanted to church him up, then you just go over with like kind of a mithril silver.
Yep.
You know,
If you want to get real fancy.
that's why. Yeah, no, that's dumb easy. So, alrighty, buddy, you ready to get all bolt gunned?
That's what I'm saying. Just you gotta take the easy paint job sometimes.
Oh man, like I said, it's like those easy ones like give me the most joy because it's like start to finish, it's like bam, 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 like yeah.
Yeah,
And then
and
everybody's like,
it's one of those things too where you could add more to it,
mm-hmm,
but eventually you're just kind of like
mm-hmm.
why mess with it more?
Exactly. I mean, the effect that you're going to get out of it, whether or not it weighs, I don't know. I was going to go with something eloquent there, but I ultimately ended up having words fail me.
Because a lot of times the metals with a wash on it will give you your desired effect.
I agree.
So it's like just don't dick with something just to dick with it, you know?
Uh huh. Yeah.
I'd say very rarely do I go back and highlight metals just because I'm like, it's not worth the time.
It depends upon what the effect is. If I'm wanting it to be like down and dirty, gritty, and everything like that, or am I wanting to have like more of a silvered effect?
Yeah.
So it all depends upon what the effect is how much I go over it. Like I did some pretty cool stuff with a couple of HK assassin droids for Imperial Assault just a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
and that was like booning bolt gun with some. I think it used to be like screaming bell, like that bronze, um, and then like going over it with like a dry brush of things after I washed it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's why I'm thinking, man. If I do pick up Legion, I'll probably just pick up like some droids real quick and then paint those up like down and dirty and fast, and then have like another army that I pick up as my like good awesome painted army.
Yeah.
Because like droids would just be so stupid easy to paint.
Yeah, it's just
So
that's what I'm talking about. Is you could make it a lot more difficult for yourself, or you could just
uh-huh.
embrace like a Necron deal where it's like, oh, you know what? This is really easy to paint.
Yeah.
Why am I making this art on myself?
Yeah. And like you can spend a lot of time on the characters and what have you
Oh yeah,
in order to make church them up, like Necron overlords or the destroyer droids or anything like that. The droidicas for Imperial Assault. So there's no need to give yourself like extra work unless you're like really just wanting it.
well that's what
And like at
I
that
tell
point in
people all
time,
the time. It's like unless this is like your favorite faction in the world,
mm-hmm.
it's like just call it good.
Yeah. Nope, I feel you. So Venom looks pretty easy too. It's just basically painting that white, his tongue,
Yeah,
and his teeth, right?
yeah. I was gonna say the tongue and his face and tongue is actually where I spent most of the time on him.
Yeah. I mean, because like you can kind of go over the abs and everything like that. Did you like do any highlighting on him at all, or did you just like?
I did with a dark kind of gray.
Uh,
So you can kind of see it on. He's a little glossy because of the finish, but that's kind of what I wanted.
yeah.
But you can see there's different parts of his muscles where you can kind of see it.
Okay.
And it's the same thing I did for Black Panther, where you can just see the top part is a little more gray than it is black.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can feel that.
most of the time I spent on kind of drawing out the pinks of the tongue and then obviously his face and teeth.
Mm. Well, because that's where the focal point is, and that's what I found on like a lot of these miniatures is that you find a focal point. That way, everybody fixates on that focal point, and then you just make it so that it's like that's awesome.
Yep.
And you can get away with a lot of like other dirty things on there as long as that focal point where everybody's going to be fixated on looks like on point.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm preaching to the choir here because you and I both have the same mind because, well, we've both taught each other things over the years, but I don't know.
That is for sure.
Like that's one of those things of why I wanted to do more freehand on things is that freehand is an obvious focal point onto a lot of deals. And so if you get like people fixated onto freehand, then they will forgive a lot of the other things as long as they're not too noticeable.
Yeah.
So another unintended thing that I thought about with that contrast paint is that when you go over the primer, if you didn't get everything like squared away a-okay and you wanted it to be black, instead of like going and repriming it, you can use that contrast paint to just basically fill in the void, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since you prime black anyways.
Mm-hmm. So like a lot of those areas where it didn't catch a lot of primer, but it still caught enough on there, but it's kind of a light black or dusting of gray, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I just did that on this Venom character, and it just filled in all the things. Plus, because it's already as thin as it is, it didn't like look like you just slopped paint everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's more of a refined finish. On Venom's tongue, did you when you built up the pink on it, did you what did you start off with your layers?
I started off with Screamer Pink.
Okay. And then you just like built it up various like shades of that,
Yep.
or
So Screamer Pink, and then I think the next one's Pink Horror, and then the really bright pink.
okay, okay.
So the middle pink's
'Cause that,
almost like it's weird because it's a cross of this and a bright pink, so it's
Mhm.
kind of like a really muted
Okay,
pink, and then the bright
gotcha.
pink on top of it.
So I was looking at this is the pink that I have currently,
Hmm.
and I was looking at mixing this with a dark red for the base coat,
Yep.
and then doing this as the mid shade, and then mixing this with a white to do it as the final shade.
Yep. That's pretty much what I did.
Okay,
Just I had the actual paints, so I didn't have to mix them.
gotcha. That is one of those things that I do like about these Vallejo ones with the droppers and everything like that, is
Oh
that they're
yeah.
far and away easier to mix. So much easier to mix. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's why Games Workshop is holding out on not doing droppers.
Hmm.
That way they can
Yeah.
keep selling you freaking paint pots.
But I mean, that's the thing, is that it's not gonna downplay how much paint you have. I mean, in fact, it's gonna make it so that you want people to buy more paint, because I don't know, it's weird economics, and I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, I would be more inclined to buy things if it was other way around.
Yeah, I think
So,
most of it's because they don't want to spend the money to redo their pots.
no, I agree. I agree. I agree. I'll just try to do Ultron a little bit more. Yeah, so Ultron, all that I did with him was I just hit it with that bolt gun real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boy.
and he just has that initial thing, and then I'm going to go in those areas with the red, and then we're going to wash it, and then we're going to go over.
I think we may have lost your mic there, Eric. I don't know if your battery died, but your battery probably died. If I was a betting man. It's a sign from the gods. People aren't going to see what I'm doing because I'm kind of going to hit these bases up. Hit 'em up, hit 'em up. That may be our sign. Your internet has had enough of listening to you, and you guys are going to sleep now, is what may have just happened. Okay, and got two more of these. Two more. There you are.
All right, can you hear me again?
I can.
Okay, cool. I just switched it to the laptop's native sound.
Yeah, I figured. I was like, oh, Eric's mic died.
Yeah, yeah. I figured 50% battery would be enough to last, but apparently I was wrong.
Well, you
So,
do a lot of chatting.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's also the fact we've been going for about 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah, a little short of that. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Ah, what?
A little bit of echo.
Oh, I can turn my thing down, I guess. Is that better?
I assume so.
Okay.
Sorry, we're not going for much longer. Oh, God.
Yeah. More echo?
Yeah.
Jesus. How about now?
I'll just sit here in silence. Okay, I can't hear that as much, so that's good.
Okay.
It's all right. Like I said, I'm gonna finish up these bases. We'll get one more look at what we've done, and then we'll call it good.
Alrighty, cool. Well, and I'll make sure that I have my battery pack fully charged for next time.
Yeah, I don't think your camera was bad on your tablet. I just think that for some reason your computer is processing it a lot better, and you're not getting the hiccups that you did on your tablet.
I think so too. Alright.
I always like sending commission pictures to people because I like getting their reaction of stuff that's like painted and mostly done.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna send these to Joe, and he'll be like, "Oh man, I love the way that this looks and that looks." And I'm like, "Yep, that's why I do it."
I do like those too, especially when you think that you did like a meh job and they're just like over the moon for it.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, oh, okay, bud.
glad you're happy.
Like,
Well, and
I don't know if it's too whippy or not.
well, sometimes when I go into a commission, I actually will start off on that because if they're really happy with my, usually 70% on my model, then it's like, okay, that's as far as I'm gonna go then. Because if you're happy with that, and I paint for cheap anyways,
Yeah.
so if they like that and that's satisfying for them, then I'm like, sure, good, we'll leave it there.
Exactly. I mean,
I'm all
because
for
it's
speed.
a matter of like what they're wanting. Because obviously they wouldn't commission you if you didn't possess either more time or skills or a combination thereof than they did.
Yeah.
And they're just wanting to see what you would bring to life on the thing. So.
All right, so we got some half tusk washed.
Nice.
Going for a very Crimson Fist kind of look there.
Nice.
All right, and then we got come here, Bucky. We get the Bucky and the Wakanda crew over here.
Nice.
And all right, so we got our Wakanda crew, Bucky, good to go.
Nice.
Yep.
Let me go check on the Iron Man real quick.
Okay.
Or of it.
Should be done. Yeah, so really excited how these. Let's mute that. So really excited how these are going.
All right.
See how Iron Man looks.
Iron Man.
That's pretty slick.
Yep. And let me get the base all good to go. Get the final product done.
Oh, you still had painter's tape on there?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's actually going to be see-through. Aren't you fancy?
I know, right?
He's got a knife.
I do. I have a knife.
That's always the worst.
I always feel like a dumbass when I cut myself.
Yeah, that's fair. As he walks away. while Erik is doing that, we want to thank you all for joining us. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe. Ooh, fancy.
Okay.
Make sure you guys share. If you guys check this out in the future. Yeah, that camera worked out a lot better for you for sure.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do any of the So, yeah, we're going to, like I said, I like the idea of these paint parties. We're just going to kind of try to promote it more where we get some more people in the chat. I might start planting people and making them hang out with Erik and I.
It'd be cool if we had like a lot of tiny men in the window.
Well, yeah, I guess. We could split your...
Dude, we could do like something like the Brady Bunch thing going on. Like where like there's like 8 of us on there. Like this the story of a bunch of nerds. All their little miniatures.
Maybe that's something where I can ask... let me think about that, because I think there's something where... Because I think if we do a Google Hangout, it'll pop to whoever's talking.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now you're kind of holding the mic.
I gotcha.
So basically it would pop to you, and then when Dennis started talking, it would pop to him. So
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so we could check that out. I'll see if we can get you, me, and Dennis together on the old horn there.
Yeah. You know.
But make sure that you guys like, subscribe, share. If you guys want to support the podcast directly, you can definitely go ahead and help us out by becoming a patron of the show. We have a lot of really awesome patrons that basically help us out. And this is actually something that's directly going to help this, because we actually just ordered one of these boons that's going to get an overhead shot of this painting stuff. So the shot will actually be better.
Not for the tiny man, though.
No,
not for the tiny
man in the window can use what he has.
Yeah, the tiny man in the window is a scrub and a special guest.
Matter of fact, you get no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
All right, but thanks for joining us, those of you that checked it out. Hopefully you can stay somewhat entertained while listening to us talk and banter. And like I said, getting some more people on here will definitely be fun. So I think we'll try a 3-way next time.
I mean, okay. I mean, when you put it that way, fair enough.
Mallory will be okay with it, I'm sure.
I mean, it's not the 3-way I asked for.
But it's the one you deserve.
Oh, that's fair.
All right. So until next time, make sure that you guys roll dice, throw salt. We'll see y'all next time.